What's up and welcome to another episode of Football Everyday, coming to you live and direct as usual from Studio V here at the Wanatama Shopping Centre in PJ. My name's Nelson and I'm back from suspension with us today. I tell you, what a relief to see him. Sheps, good to see you again.
Good to be back.
And very special and lovely guest today joining us, Miss Malaysia 2007, the lovely Miss Deborah Henry.
Good to have you here. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. It's actually Deborah's second time on the show, so welcome back to Football Everyday. Since it's been a while though, I'm going to first ask you which team you support and why.
Well, I'm glad to be back. To be honest, I've quite missed being on the show.
That's good to hear.
Well, the thing is, my family, we are divided right down the middle. Half of them support Man United and the other half support Arsenal. So,
wow.
Yeah, both big rivals, of course. But growing up, I've always leaned more towards Man United.
Yay!
Yeah. They're, of course, one of the most popular teams. But I've always sort of from a sort of a kid, I always used to watch more of their matches and support them.
Finally, Man United have somebody good-looking supporting them. Sorry, Nels.
That's the first one.
Okay, but great team to support, I must say. But tell us a bit more on what you're currently involved in.
Currently, I MC and host. Still a little bit of modeling, but I do a lot of social work, charity work, and we work with refugee children living in Malaysia.
Wow.
So we did organize actually a futsal clinic last year, where we got 30 kids to come together to play a football match, and we had like Adidas sponsor the gear and stuff like that. So it was really cool.
Really cool.
Yeah,
Maybe we could get Sheps and Football Everyday.
Yeah, now that I'm here, I think I have a big plan for the next year's one.
Right. So about getting to a bit of football, got to start with the weekend's results. Of course, with Liverpool's 2-0 win over Man United at Anfield. I'm sad, but Debs, how do you feel about that loss?
Well,
since you're a Man United fan.
Yeah, and I'm unfortunate. I don't want to say this, but Man United, they tend to lose those matches a lot. The ones they're expected to win, they tend to lose. And I think, probably Alex, I think, has gotten it wrong in the sense that playing Ryan Giggs and Paul Scholes together on midfield from last year, it doesn't really work. So time for some changes.
I agree with you there.
I think that's a great point. We said this last year. You can't play them together. Yes. And especially with Scholes, I think he's lost his legs. He can't get about as you need a defensive midfielder.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Darren Fletcher's work rate and Anderson's work rate, and then suddenly, you look at the lineup and you've got Scholes playing, and you go like, this is going to be trouble.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why it was. I thought they lost it in midfield. I agree with Debs.
Got to agree with you there, but I got to ask you, Sheps. Rather surprisingly, I must say, Fergie didn't have too much to say about the loss, So was it a deserved win for Liverpool, especially with the quality of Torres' goal?
Very much so. We've mentioned the midfield, and if you look at the Liverpool midfield that night, it was devoid of ideas. They played really well. Why? Because all they needed to do, all Fabio Aurelio, Mascherano, Lucas, and Kaut had to do was to stop Man United's midfield from playing, which they did extremely well.
Right, yeah.
One moment of brilliance, a brilliant through ball from Benayoun, great finish from Torres, game was over. So, they got it right, or rather I would say, either way you look at it, maybe Man United got it wrong in midfield, which I thought was the problem.
Yeah.
But Liverpool deserved that because they finally came up against a team that they didn't need to break down. When they have to come out and try to be creative and beat teams, then Liverpool struggled this season. But going out to neutralize teams, that's what they did to Man United.
Right, and I think I said that last week that I didn't think Liverpool were going to lose 5 in a row. But having said that, Sheps, did United have any reasons to feel slightly aggrieved, with some of the refereeing decisions? In your opinion?
Yeah, I think Jamie Carragher should have been sent off. I thought that was a blatant foul on Michael Owen. He did bring him down. He was the last man. But apart from that, I thought the referee, as all referees are, was a bit inconsistent. But that was the only one incident, in my opinion, that the referee got completely wrong.
Great stuff. I'm gutted with the loss, but I'm sure United will bounce back very soon. Moving on very quickly to Chelsea's 5-0 demolition of Blackburn. Sheps, what do you think of that performance?
I think I'm going to leave that to Debs.
Did you like Chelsea, Deborah?
I like Chelsea. They've got some good players, but I think they're taking advantage of the inconsistencies, like from Arsenal, Man United,
right.
And what they're doing is they're really thrashing the weaker teams, unlike a lot of the other teams out there. So the teams that they can beat, they beat them, and they beat them very well.
Right.
Yeah.
Great stuff, guys. But hold on to your thoughts, as it is time for our first break here on Football Every Day. But we'll be right back with more football chat and banter. So stay tuned to Football Every Day. Welcome back to Football Everyday here in the second segment of the show. Before this, we were of course talking about the weekend's eye-catching results. But before we continue, let me ask Deborah, what your opinion is in general on female football fans in Malaysia. I mean, should they be taken seriously, or are they just looking to jump on the bandwagon?
Of course we should be taken seriously. I mean, one thing I have to admit is that, you know, we can't escape football. It's everywhere, it's all around us, it surrounds us in every facet of our lives. And even for those women who don't really care about football, and for those who are really into it. So I guess we're just educated about it. And like from a personal perspective, I grew up with family members who loved it, like would stay up watching the games. My sister, my older sister, during her O-levels, she actually stayed up to watch the World Cup.
Wow.
And she was like, she was waking up at 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. to watch these matches during her exams. So, you know, and it does rub off on one. But I think the female fan is more educated. She knows what she's talking about. They support the teams, you know, for the right reasons. They know about their teams. They get up to watch the matches, and they go, you know, they travel to watch the games.
Great, Shebs.
So
you agree with their opinion?
I think you know.
You like female football fans, right?
Well, I mean, I have a lot of female fans, so
female fans who happen to like football.
who are very educated. I mean, that's the word, because you know, Deb's already mentioned, you know, they're more educated now because since the advent of satellite TV in Malaysia, you know, you get a regular diet of football,
Definitely.
and you know, it's a great way to keep your boyfriend at home on weekends as well. So it works for everyone.
Nicely put, Shebs. Let's get into Arsenal then. Many, including me, have said that, you know, Shebs, the Gunners' failure to finish off games and, you know, tendency to always concede goals might be their downfall come end of the season. You agree?
I think they are definitely going in that direction. When they are good, they're brilliant, you know. And then the last game against West Ham, the first half they were all over West Ham. Second half, you know, West Ham just stopped
they took
them
the foot
from
off the
playing.
pedal a little bit, and then West Ham scored one.
West Ham stopped them from playing. So these kind of inconsistency is what is going to worry Arsene Wenger. Are they going to always score more goals than the opposition? I don't think that will happen. So I will predict another in and out season for them without. But I would fancy them in Europe. I think in the Champions League, I think they could seriously trouble people. But in England, I think teams know how to play them. So yeah, I don't expect too many surprises from them.
Quick thought on Vermaelen. I mean, we know he's a great attacking force, and he was pumping up the left wing, and you know.
Well, I mean, sometimes you know, when you go to 2-2, there's always a tendency for everybody to lose their tactical discipline and say, you know, they get desperate, they want to look for the win. Vermaelen, for me, is a very, very good defender, is good on set pieces, but other than that, I think he should just do what he does best, because times like that, if you get desperate, you leave gaps. No, defenders defend.
Right. Okay, and your thoughts on Man City, Shebs? I mean, look, they contrived to do what Arsenal did, you know, against West Ham. I mean, surely they have to see off teams like Fulham if they want to break into the top four. Right?
I've always said that. I mean, if they want to be taken seriously, then at home especially, they've got to win all their games. Away from home, you know, they got to try to win the difficult games. Like, you know, you go away to the likes of Wigan, to Sunderland. This is where, you know, it really shows whether Man City are going to break into the top four or not. I still feel there's plenty more. I think they were due a bit of a hiccup, and I think that came against Fulham. But I still fancy them. I think they could be the surprise team of the season.
Okay, I mean, could the same be said about your beloved Spurs, Shebs? I mean, look, not beating Stoke at home, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was
maybe top four ambitions as well.
Top four ambitions, never. I mean, whichever Spurs fan believes that, I'm sorry, I disagree. I don't think we'll break into the top four. Progress is very important. And against Stoke City, yes, these are the kind of games that will happen to you once in a while, where you play ever so well and you lose a game. You know, so, you know, simply put, my old physio at Kuala Lumpur used to say, you know, surgery was successful, but the patient did.
Right.
Patient died.
Great stuff, Shebs. I mean, just before our final break today, our email of the week comes from Ryan Lee, who's actually an Aston Villa fan, but says Bolton have impressed him of late and could be a dark horse to make it into Europe. Very quickly, Shebs, where do you see Bolton come the end of the season?
Which games has he been watching? Has he been watching Bolton? No, Bolton won't create too many waves.
No?
I'm afraid not. You know, they won't shock anyone. They're a very, very hard-working unit, and I like the formation of that midfield. There's 5 of them who really work extremely hard, and Tamir Cohen, you know, is scoring goals as well. Matt Taylor, again, you know, Fabrice Muamba for me has been outstanding as a defensive midfielder, but it's just up front. They will never score enough goals to be taken seriously.
Great stuff, Shep. So thanks a lot for your email, Ryan. To drop us a line just like Ryan, please do so at football@thestar.com.my. And it is time for our second and final break here on Football Everyday. But we'll be right back with more chat and banter with Shebs and Debs. So stick it right here. And you're back with us on the third and final segment of today's show. Time now to take a look at some of the eye-catching fixtures coming up this weekend. Starting with eagerly anticipated, I see Shebs all getting excited. London Derby at the Emirates. Shebs, both teams will be eager to bounce back from disappointing results. So can you expect loads of action?
Yeah. I think.
Could we expect loads of action, you think?
A lot of action, definitely, and possibly a red card or two as well. I think we missed Jermaine Defoe. With Peter Crouch starting against Stoke City, there was always that tendency to want to play that long ball too early. With Defoe, you got to slip it through, you got to play to feet. So I think that was a problem. But having said that, I would love to see Crouch up against Vermaelen and Gallas. I think this is where Crouch could actually benefit Spurs. Having said that, I thought the rest of the team did well. There will be a silent determination. I am banking on us not losing at the Emirates.
Right, but what do you think Arsenal will do? I mean, is it going to be the same Arsenal?
Yeah, they're a wonderful team to watch. They play fantastic football. Cesc Fabregas is key. I think if Palacios can sit on him, then you can neutralize them. Not to a large extent, but you can neutralize them because he is the brains. Yes, you have Arshavin, but I think Fab is the one who gets them playing. So I hope Harry realizes that and tells Wilson Palacios, Mark Fabregas will handle the rest.
Right, okay, so you said Spurs are not going to lose, so give me a score prediction then, man.
I'm going to go with a high-scoring 2-2.
Wow, okay. Great, I mean, let's move on to Fulham versus Liverpool. I mean, Shebs, Roy Hodgson seems to have instilled a great sense of resilience in this Fulham side. So can the Reds break them down at their own home, you think?
I think they can. I think.
To build on the win against United.
Yeah, I think Fulham, in my opinion, are always overrated. I don't think they play, expansive football or exciting football. They are very, very good at home, and yes, they got the result against Man City away from home. But no, I think Liverpool are, simply flying. I hope Fernando Torres starts. And I think Fulham could be in deep trouble.
Win for Liverpool then.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Over at Old Trafford, Man United welcomed Blackburn.
Yep.
After the 5-goal beating at Chelsea, I mean, surely Blackburn will look for an improved showing against the Red Devils, right?
Well, yeah, they try, but I mean, I do fear for Blackburn. I think they are a struggling team. They lack a creative player, and they're not very compact on the field. So I don't know. We'll see how things go for them.
Are United going to win?
Of course, United are going to win.
How many goals then?
3-0 perhaps.
I hope Deborah's right.
Let's hope. I hope. I hope I'm right.
I think Sir Alex Ferguson will be looking at a clean sheet. Since Man United defenders have been leaking goals, he'll be looking to stop Blackburn from scoring. And I'll go with Deb on that. I think that's a fair prediction.
Right. I got to ask you this very quickly. Should Ferdinand be dropped, Shebs?
I think yes, because I think Johnny Evans is a better player. I think Johnny Evans is ready now to step up. He's already shown that every time he's asked to perform, he's performed extremely well. You've got to look into the future. At the same time, I think Rio Ferdinand needs a wake-up call or a slap, but I think a wake-up call would be good.
Right, and moving on, Shebs, I mean, Everton, Aston Villa, very quickly. Will they cancel each other out, do you think, or can you see a winner?
You just got to go with a 0-0 on that, isn't it? You can just see that 0-0 happening.
Yeah. All right, I mean, Debs, over at Stamford Bridge, score prediction from you on Chelsea versus Bolton.
Chelsea's going to win. I think they're going to go for a big win. So I would say maybe 2-0.
Yeah, Shebs, you agree? Is it going to be a Chelsea win? I mean, Chelsea play Bolton in the League Cup.
They are flying
as well.
They are flying, and Debs already mentioned the fact that Chelsea, they go out and they smash those little teams.
Yeah.
They don't go out there and win 1-0 or narrow 2-1s. They go out and score a lot of goals. Once again, I mean, I'm not going to argue with the Debs.
With the Debs, yeah?
With the Debs.
But nice one, guys. To round up today's show, this week's Football Everyday fun fact is on, I think, our star performer last weekend, and we all agree, Fernando Torres. Did you know, guys, that at 5 years old, Torres actually started playing football as a goalkeeper? I mean, Sheps, what a transformation it's been, right?
I think there's always a goalkeeper
In someone, in everyone?
In everyone. Everybody fancies throwing themselves about in the mud at some time or another. But
Yeah,
I'm
I think of that all the
glad. But I'm glad. Well, number one, he would have been too short for a goalie.
Right.
I'm glad he became a striker.
Great stuff. Just before we go, Debs, what can your fans look forward to from you in the coming months?
Well,
Aside from being on football every day.
Yes, besides being here. Well, I'm out and about, a lot of events, attending a lot of events. Do Google some of the charity projects that I'm a part of with the refugees. If you'd like to get involved, of course, do contact me. So.
Right. Well, all the best with that, and
Thank you.
love to see you again. Thanks for being here today. See you
for
again.
having me.
Sheps, pleasure as always. Hope to see you soon.
Likewise,
Until next
Nels.
week, it's Nelson here saying ciao on Football Every Day and enjoy your football.